Hey, I was just telling them a few minutes ago, the panelists behind the scenes now, that this is about 30 seconds. I don't think my countdown is 30 seconds. I think it's a bunch of random numbers that is counting down to get to somewhere that I have no idea where the ending is. I have to fix it, but I always say that. And then the show comes up with the same thing. I'm actually putting hello everyone in the chat so that you who are on Facebook watching this, even if it's in the replay that you're watching it, I want to say hello to you. Welcome to the Streamers Hub. I am DJ Strick, and if you could tell me where you are from and where you're watching from, that would be helpful to me. If you got any questions about tonight, if you want to join in and be a part of the conversation tonight, do me a favor. Don't hesitate. Be a part of the conversation, because today is a really, really good one. So today we're going to talk about AI versus humans. Okay, this is the real debate, like what we do versus what the computer can do, and what is happening in this AI revolution. Or could it be Apple intelligence revolution? I don't know. We're going to talk about it all tonight with the panelists. I'm going to bring them on in just 1 second, but I do want to talk about an opportunity for you. If you are a content creator and you understand marketing and you have seen this OneStream Live system and you say, hey, I have friends, I have acquaintances, I have people that I think could be my customers and OneStream Live's customer, and I want to send them my affiliate link. We do have an affiliate program where you can get 25% recurring commission, and all you have to do is just sign up and send people your link that are interested in a system like OneStream Live. If they buy, you get paid. It is really, really that simple. And if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I see what DJ Strick is doing, I could be a streamer, and you want to be a part of OneStream Live Streamers Partnership Program, it is really simple. Send one of your social media platforms, I say the one where you have the most likes, the most friends, to content at onestream.live. Again, that's content at onestream.live. Share your social media platforms with them and tell them you want to be a part of the streaming partnership program, and they will get in contact with you. And that's probably the best I've ever done that. This is going to be a great night, because if I don't mess that up, that means I am ready to go. And I think I'm really, really excited today because I have the panel with me. It's been a couple of months since we actually did the fourth Monday, and I don't know if this is the fourth Monday or not. It's been confusing to me where it is, but they're all here. So I want to bring them on one at a time. There's my girl, Erica. Erica, how are you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I am great. Thank you for being here today. I have Joe Shepard here with me. Hey, Joe, how are you doing?
I'm great, DJ Strick, and Erica, great to see you. Great to be back, lads. I have to say, it's brilliant. Thank you.
And that camera looking extra crispy tonight. Glad you look good over there, Joe. And then I have Matt here. I have Matt for, this is the second Monday. You get an opportunity to hang out with me.
Second Monday. Yeah, it's a good time. I always enjoy hanging out with you, DJ Strick.
There you go. I hope so. I hope we have a good time together. I enjoy it. So I'm even going to enjoy this conversation, because I know as content creators and people that are in this field, you guys have tons of opinions about this AI revolution and where we are when it comes to where humans are actually involved in, with if it's good or bad, which one is better, how can we work this out? And I want to start with going backwards. Okay, Joe, you may remember more of this than most of us, but AI really, even though we're calling it AI now, using computers and its ability to do math very quickly. This is not new technology. It's something that has been around for a while, and it has affected us in other ways. Can you guys remember ways where computers have come in, made things quicker, faster, and kind of have moved people out of certain industries because of the computing process a actual machine can do?
Well, I think all the machine learning stuff that's going on right now is a perfect example, and what's been going on for the last couple of years. But think about any major business automation process that's existed in any large company for years. All of that is stuff that's been implemented because it can be done faster and more accurately than a human or a team of humans can do at any one given time. So
that's definitely true. Let me see if I can give you some examples to see what kind of road I'm going down. You know, at one point, and I'll just tell you where I remember this from, but there are more things in history that will tell you that people used to be called computers. So at one point, what was it? There was a movie that came out about us going to the Apollo missions and all
Oh,
of that, us going to the moon. And basically, they had rooms full of people doing calculations, but they didn't have computers at the time. They were actually calling those people computers. And of course, you know, it didn't take long for computers to come in and actually, the real computers and machines that we know, take over those jobs and do the math equations that people are actually doing by hand. That being said, I go by DJ Strick. People would think, what does that mean in the content creation world? It means nothing, but I was a real radio DJ, right? And in radio, in the last 20 years, what has happened is, first, we have two things. We had Sirius and then XM radio. And these were two competing satellite radio stations, right? They actually merged, and as they merged, it made one big satellite company, Sirius Radio, that everybody knows today. And I think it is Sirius XM. Well, what happened was, you're able to be in your car in Alabama, where I live, of course, and travel anywhere in basically the world. But let's just say the States, because I know Sirius is in the States, anywhere in the States, and hear the same programming. Now, they have tons of different radio stations in their conglomerate, but basically most of the stations are ran by computers. So a programmer will program all this music, and it's just rotating. Okay, probably about 10 years ago, or maybe 15 now, Clear Channel decided, hey, we really like their model. We have radio stations in majority of these cities. Let's do the same thing. They actually even used the computers, which means that they needed less and less of the local DJs.
yeah.
So the computers actually took over streaming music, you know, back to back to back, less commercials, less DJs, less radio station overhead, because people cost a lot of money. You know, DJs are local celebrities, right? You got to pay those people just to get on to talk. And when you take that expense outside of a radio station, there is, you know, great opportunity for the bosses to make the money. And Clear Channel tried to do that across the country. They still have the radio stations, but financially, they're not performing as well as they thought they would. But it has worked, where there are less and less local radio stations that are actually using real voices from live people inside of their studio that connects to the local community. Okay,
and I really think that hits on the spot of connecting the past to where we are now. So as was, as is, will be again, because I don't know whether you've ever seen it. There's a film that was out probably about 10 years ago called The Boat, the Boat That Rocked. Okay. And it was about pirate radio in the 60s. It's brilliant. DJ, all of you.
I got to check it out.
The Boat That Rocked, all the music from the 60s. And what was really great about it, apart from the fact it was pirate radio and you see everybody sitting around a home around the radios, it was that personal touch. And I think that's connecting, as was, as is now, is the hybrid model, I think there's a yearning to go back to those human beings. So AI, and I will come on to, will supplement what we're doing and help us. But it's that human touch that I don't think, and in a more expanded world, we're even more lonelier than we ever were before. So for some people, that human engagement bit, it might be the only human engagement bit they get, and that for me is a fundamental piece of how we keep on going with humans, but using AI to supplement and help us to achieve.
And what I'm thinking about, guys, is more of when we think about the past, how technology has, how we've used technology. And in some cases, humans didn't even know, or people didn't know that technology was being used to affect us. Because I can call it artificial. Like right now, what artificial and AI is the opportunity to the computers are learning faster and they're able to communicate to us almost as though they were humans. Okay, so we can ask the computer a question, it can spit out answers directly to our question, to us answering that question, or be able to perform tasks that we were doing that now the computer can do almost automated. Now, there are things in our past. I used the radio as an example of how we were able to, in the past, to be able to do some things. So we know that it was Elon Musk that was a huge component of us stopping the AI revolution. Like he wanted there to be regulations around it and for it because right now, guys, you know that there's several companies. One leading the pack is a company called 11 Labs. And basically, they're able to, at one point, they were doing celebrity voices, but I'm sure that there are other places that you could do celebrity voices right now to basically mimic their voice. Right now, they have an AI software that could actually put your face on a picture. And this technology has been around, but not for the everyday use.
Synthesia do it as well, don't they?
Yeah.
And now it's right there for everyday use to where if you were a person that people did not like, they can make you visibly through video and through audio say and do whatever they want said and done.
Somebody had recently went to jail for that. A football coach in I want to say Alabama. I'm not sure. He didn't care for his principal, so he 11 Labs made his principal say a bunch of not nice stuff. So they looked into it, and IP address went back to the coach. So yeah.
So it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, it can really happen. I mean, we're using it to the best of our ability, but basically right now, the field is so wide open with this technology that has been there for a while, guys. I have to repeat that because, you know, I'll just be honest with you. They've been able to change faces a long, long time. I mean, me saying that, we have seen it in Hollywood. I'll just say it that way. We've seen movies come out. And Joe, I don't know what they call it on your end. Like, what's the production? Like, if I say Hollywood over here, Joe, everybody knows it's the movies. Is that the same thing?
Same, brother. Yeah.
I got you. So they've been able to do it in Hollywood for a very long time. So now that technology they were using in Hollywood is right here in our hands. Please don't think that the Tom Cruise you saw in the last Top Gun actually looks like that. Okay. Tom Cruise has aged. He did not look like he looked in that last movie, which was made, 2 or 3 years or released 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know when it was made, but he's had some touch-ups to make sure that he looks nice and young and fit for Hollywood. Let me just say it that way. And we've definitely seen over and over again to where, again, I mentioned radio, but there are other cases to where, I really feel for assistants, whether they're in offices, if they're not like the corporate main executive assistant, there are going to be some assistant roles. They're going to be gone because the company has figured out that they could use AI to do the same type work.
On many levels, that is true.
DJ Strick, I want to say, if you don't know what's up, you don't know what's up. You can use AI all you want, but still, if you don't know what's up, it's going to look like you don't know. A lot of people say, I think the slogan for Canva is design made easy for everyone. Still, I've seen a lot of crappy Canva users because they don't know what's up. And sometimes I love chat. Chat will tell me anything sometimes and just play like it's okay.
Yeah. You got to be able to, I mean, I don't think at least as it stands right now, we're still a little ways away from having AI be clear, concise, and accurate with the information that it spits out, at least for most of the LLMs, the large language models. And that's simply based on the fact that they're limited in what they can research. So they can only bring knowledge up to 2021 for its bank of knowledge. And then any of the services like Perplexity or one of the other ones that actually go out and actively research the internet, the content's only as good as what's available on the internet. So you have to understand how to get through the AI jargon. And I think I agree with you on some level that some of these assistant jobs, at least at the lower level, are probably going to potentially be in jeopardy with some of the things that are coming down the pipe. But when it comes to like the C-level suites and even mid management, those types of folks that have the executive assistants, they need somebody that understands how to differentiate the junk from the productive stuff, the effective stuff. And so I think there's still a spot for those people, and having that human buffer between is going to be the game changer. And really that's where people are going to end up shining. Is you're going to have to find a way, if you're in one of those positions that could potentially or has a lot of overlap with some of the tasks that AI can manage, you as an individual need to kind of go out and figure out how to use AI to your advantage to enhance your, I guess your, how do I say this? Skill set and your effectiveness for the company, rather than allowing AI to surpass you in its ability to do your job by itself.
Yeah, I agree. And just waiting for Stephen to come back there. I think one area that could be done is HR. I have had an issue half of my life with HR. And now we're starting to see people, great point you just made then, in mid-management level, who are actually decision makers now and giving more of a decision-making role and saying, hang on a minute, I'm going to work with this person, so I'll set the criteria. I'll do the interviews with them, and I want that personal touch, because actually, as a trained selection interview panelist myself, if I'm interviewing you, Matt, on the Friday, I want to know on the Monday that I'm getting the real Matt Volkmann. That's what I'm looking for, and you ain't getting that from the HR. So again, some of the big companies in UK and Ireland, not sure about the States, but they've got a thing called like HR business partner, excuse me, in some of the big companies. And the HR BP sits off a dotted line at the side and straddles strategic, operational, and tactical ground level.
Yep.
And has an understanding of how the whole system works. And so I think HR BP is the wrong title because it's got HR in it. So, you know, they're not really accepted by people outside per se. They're not really accepted by HR because they're seen as a threat. But I think those type of roles where instead of having companies or organizations that are stovepiped, where you can get that cross-sectional capability, I think that type of thing, and starting with HR, would be an ideal time for using AI to supplement what we're doing, to save time, to ease the process through, so we can maintain that personal link.
Right.
So I've been using Chat Gemini to repurpose my content. I never thought about using it for HR. How, either one of you, please, because I want to know, how are you using AI for HR?
Well, here, I'll give you a couple of examples of things that you could do, right? So if you're going to be using it for HR purposes, you could do a couple of different things. You can use it to develop or modify your existing SOPs or SOGs to bring them up to current standards, or to bring them into kind of the modern era. The reality is if you go back and look at any company that was probably started more than 10 years ago, their HR business or their HR standard operating procedures and standard operating guidelines, and pretty much across the board, not just HR, but across the board, their SOPs and SOGs are probably outdated. They haven't been updated to what's going on with the current times in terms of remote working or hybrid working, those types of things that might have effects in today's society. Or how about the usage of social media or usage of company devices for personal gain or for personal use issued equipment. So those types of things, you can feed that information in and say, hey, update this based on current technology standards and current operating standards of XYZ, XYZ, whatever. And then the other thing you could do is you could actually take business information that you have in one of the AI tools or many of the AI tools that are out there and actually teach the AI about your business so that it becomes, it can be like a first line HRBP, and it's essentially just an AI chatbot. So for simple questions like, I need to update my contact information for my health insurance provider. How do I do that? You can send that out. So instead of somebody that's an HR wasting time dealing with something like that. And don't get me wrong, it's not that it's a waste of time, but it's a very simple question that could be answered with a very limited amount of information on a knowledge base. You can plug that in and somebody gets like, feels like they're getting real-time support from an individual or from an entity by having that direct interaction simply bumped into the AI so it can feed information back to the individual question. Make sense?
Okay, I gotta ask now.
That's good.
I don't see you.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's great, Matt. And actually, externally and internally, the use of HR AI for that internally would save so much time. You're absolutely spot on. And again, I hadn't really thought about the internal aspects, so that's brilliant. The external bit, if you look at some companies like eBay, for example, eBay now, if you go through the process to join the team, same as a number of companies, when you apply, they then send you a detail where you have to go into a room and you have to record the interview yourself. It's very impersonal. If you're not used to it, then it can be very off-putting. But again, there's a filter system that absolutely, and more companies are doing that now. So I think there's a lot there already who have adopted a softer approach. There's a time-saving issue to be able to filter people down, and all of that whole system. I went through that a couple of years ago. I tried it to see what it was like. It was all automated. I just couldn't type fast enough with my fat old jumbly fingers on the response and the customer service response box. That was all it was. Didn't really want the job, but it was really interesting to see where that was being used in an AI. Pre-AI, but it was AI, I suppose, really automated way, using technology to be able to improve systems, save time, without necessarily getting rid of so many people, but to streamline those processes, which again goes back to what you said about SOPs and SOGs.
May I ask, do you guys use those? Because I don't like knowledge base until I want to study that platform. So I won't use it. If I go to the talking bubble and they don't talk to me, they send me to a machine, I'll just leave the platform.
Oh, I absolutely love them. Like once you connect, I like it better because I feel like it's faster.
Yeah, I think you would be in the minority that actually really prefers to speak to a human being, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, they just recently did a study. It's like, hey, and it was late 2023, early 2024. Some technology company did a study based on customer service chatbots, and it was like 39% of people preferred to speak to a human being, like a specific individual on the other end of that chatbot, and it was like 68% were was it 68 61% or 60% were fine with talking to an AI bot as long as it solved their problem.
Exactly.
And then there was like a 1% margin of error. But the thing is and this is the key, is that chat bot, if it's pre-programmed, has to solve the problem, or there has to be the capability for human handoff if it doesn't. And that's where a lot of companies get into trouble with those.
I agree.
If they're not using that additional feature of the human handoff so that an individual can answer a question that can't be answered by the knowledge base or the pre-programmed information to the AI. That's where a lot of companies are losing people in that, because people are they get to the end like you did, and they're like, well, that didn't help me. That didn't give me the answer or the information that I was looking for. Or maybe they need clarification on something within a knowledge base that the AI simply can't do. So, yeah.
DJ,
That's a
can I
great
ask
answer.
can I ask a simple question of all of you?
Go
That
right ahead.
very much related. I found myself the other day, didn't realize I was doing this. Somebody close to me noticed. When I'm dealing with ChatGPT 4 or Voila or anything like that, knowledge based, I'd speak to it like I'm speaking to a human. Maybe that's just because I'm an empath, but I say please, I say thank you, I build a rapport with this, and I never realized I was doing it. And I got to ask the question, because I've been burning to ask other streamers and other content creators. When you use AI knowledge-based tools in that to help you, because we're talking about simplify, do you build a relationship, or am I just mental?
I
No,
logged in to tell Chat
hold on.
happy birthday.
That's funny. So let me say this, Joe, so that you know, if nobody has told you this, yes, you are mental.
Come on, thank you.
Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. And also, yes, I'm in the South of America, and in the South, we are extremely polite. So it's always yes, sir, no, ma'am, thank you very much, all of that. So yes, ChatGPT has gotten a thank you very much, especially when it has outputted some information that I needed, and I'm reading it, and it's exactly what I want. I'm like, thank you very much.
Yep.
Send. So yes, I have done it. Now, what I don't do that I really appreciate, like the capitalization of words and stuff and punctuation, I do not do that anymore. I could be wrong in my prompts, but if I say, hey, can you write or rewrite this? The C is lowercase.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, it's funny because I've done some training on this and how to program large language models and stuff like that, and using some of the existing stuff out there. And all the experts will tell you, all the people that build these things will tell you, be very direct in your language and be very clear and concise. Ignore the fluff. Tell them must do this. They cannot do this. Like, you need to set very, very strict left and right limits as far as what it can and can't do. Otherwise, you run more of a risk of getting into that AI garble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But are you saying thank you, man? Are you saying thank you once it puts?
It gives me information. I'll be thank you. Now I need you to do X, Y.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, I'm using my manners with it, but no, it is funny because it is a pseudo human connection, right?
Yeah.
It's obviously it's not real, it's not a sentient being, but there is enough of a familiarity with language processing as a human would do that it is almost like talking to another person. And so it's almost natural to have those kinds of reactions and to do those kinds of things, at least personally for me. So
I want to take this next couple of moments to kind of answer the question for everybody. And Domino Entertainment, thank you for hanging out with us tonight inside of the chat on YouTube. If you are there watching, don't hesitate. Go ahead and let us know you are watching inside of our chat. We would love to hear from you tonight. AI versus humans. What do you guys think? Do you think that people that use AI systems will actually win out over people that don't? And Erica, I'll start with you.
Well, me and Chat are best friends. I have told Joe and Matt that I mostly use it to repurpose my long form video content. Chat gives me emails. Chat gives me my LinkedIn newsletters. It gives me my YouTube descriptions, summaries for posts. So yeah,
Shouts
that's
out
all
to
I say. Chat has been
thank
very
you.
helpful to me.
So let me say this first. Pastor Dre, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for coming through. And so you would say yes to using AI or no, Erica?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Use it.
All right. And my man Jake is saying hello as well. In just a few minutes, we're going to ask the audience too. And you guys can go ahead and chime in if you don't mind to where you think we should be using AR or not. Is it an advancement tool for all of us? Joe, I'll go to you. What do you think?
Oh, it's a definite correct yes for me. I think what we will find is a balance. I think the cleverer people find the balance with AI and see what it's useful for. Now, notwithstanding what I just said and proving that I am completely mental at 60, but actually, what AI does, I quite like that actually. What I see, you see this face for radio thing that we laughed about before. I don't need that Tom Cruise effect because I've always looked like this, so it's pretty cool.
That's funny.
But the AI versus the human, I think what the human bit does, it gives you that human touch, that feel. We teach people, don't we, that when you're talking about live streaming, it's not a TV studio. You don't have to be perfect. There's AI out there now that would stop me when I'm on my own, hosting, producing, directing, looking around, pressing buttons and stuff. But you know what? I quite like to see that because I feel that I'm connecting with that person. The more that we make things perfect, the more that we're going to sort of get away from that. Now, there are some things, I think AI characters will grow more and they'll become, because I think the whole influencer thing has been debunked. There's demystified about that. You know, there are some people out there making millions, let's not deny it. There's one huge family in your neck of the woods in the USA. Crazy, but is this the sort of thing that we should be teaching to our youngsters? The answer is quite clearly no. So I think that AI, I think the characterizations will become more influencing, and we'll use those. I loved what you're talking about the bot system before, about that almost personalizes, as long as Matt says we've got that human context there. So I think it's that balance. Using AI as a balance to save time, generate ideas, repurpose stuff, but you're never going to get away. Maybe 50, 60, 70 years down the line, you can have somebody who could do this, but I still don't think that's ever really going to happen. I think that personal touch is even more important today than it's ever been, and I think there's the balance that we need to find between the two.
Man, I'm going to get to you in just 1 second, but Joe, let me ask you this. You don't think that they're going to be able to program these large language models in such a way that it could be personalized to just you? And this is my, there are products out. I don't know if you are aware about the Rabbit product.
No.
Are you familiar with this? So there is a product that is out called the Rabbit, and it probably started sometime last year. I think Marquez is the only person I've seen with his yet, but they were supposed to be delivering these they look like little phones. There's one scroll wheel in the middle, and this Rabbit product, it is your personal assistant for AI. So it's an AI portable unit. Okay. This is before Google was doing anything, before Apple started using AI, because they just announced, Apple AI. So before, this is a year ago, this product came out, and basically it had a camera on it. You can be at your computer, point the camera at what you were doing, and it would tell you the steps that you use to do it, that you can then send to someone else. It was going to be your personal assistant tool, or a personal assistant bot, portable bot, basically. And there are several companies that actually have things. None of them work the way they were supposed to work or were really good. Let me say that, because the reviews have been bad on all of them. Yeah. But it's the idea that, now I say that, there's not a question I do not know. It is not because I know all of the answers, it's because I have a smartphone. So I know how to research it. But do you not think that the model, I'm going to get back to my question for you, Joe, is not going to be smart enough to make it to where it's personable? And every day you wake up and you have your phone set on your alarm, and you hit the alarm and you're up, and your phone will say, hey, Joe, guess what? We have several meetings today. I want you to be sure that you're reminded of. Oh, yeah, I know, but I want to be sure that you're reminded, just like, it could be personal to just like a person would.
Yeah, I think those capabilities to greater or lesser degrees, depending on who you are there now. You can, from programming your Echo or your Alexa or whatever, the next gen you've got across there is, to be able to, excuse me, wake you up, put your music on. Goes back to the old-fashioned teas maids as well in the 50s and 60s, by the way, where everything we were trying to do was automate and keep us, so, we've got to, when, even for the ordinary person, if you're using Google Workspace, if you set your meetings, your timers, it will come up. So all those things, that's what you're talking about, is just the next level. I think there's some problems with some of the bigger companies. They're all trying to put billions in to outbid and outwin the other one. So right. Apple, this whole thing of every, I don't use Apple anyway, but 5 seconds or 10 seconds, it'll take a screen grab of everything you're doing, and people going, whoa. Because for the ordinary people, they're actually quite scared of AI. The ordinary person you would speak to thinks, you know what, I want that bit of control back. So these people are putting billions and billions in like it's monopoly money, not realizing that actually they need to speak. People want that human touch. So you go back to, everything is going back to AI can be there to supplement and help. What you're talking about, I think, is a great measure. Wake up in the morning and just remind me what I got. So like, I knew I had 3 on, but I've woken up, actually I had 4 on. I did in one late last night. So actually that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Just as a recap, a refresh, a reminder, don't forget you need to take your water at this time, at this time. You need to get some fitness in. You need to do this. You've got a family meeting at so-and-so. So I think that is a good, cool use of things that is already there, but isn't probably in the mainstream for the most of us yet, I'd prefer. So
what if you, and Matt, I'm coming to you, but I want to stay here with Joe. What if you had a system that was personal assistant, programmed to be your personal assistant / friend? So when you asked it questions, it gave you the right answer, but you were also able to ask it opinion questions, and it would give you an opinion based off of its knowledge of you, like you were a friend.
I've got one, man. It's a human, and she sat downstairs. So we got to be careful with.
But there's so many people that don't have that, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. And in all seriousness, I think we go back to that point before about the fact of this personal touch, and for a lot of people, most people walk past in the street, their heads are down, they never say hello. I am annoying as hell. Jill hates it. Everybody I see in the street, hey, how you doing? Having a good day? Stop, talk to people, because that human touch, that bit where we're wider apart and more connected than we ever were, but we're more lonely than we've ever been.
Disconnected, right?
So
right.
We are very much disconnected. So what you're talking about, I think, would be great for some people. There's times when I'm here, if Jill's not here or she's downstairs, I will have a conversation with my Alexa there, and I'll ask Bone questions. I know it's not going to know. And then go, well, you're good, aren't you?
Right.
Thank you. So it's there. And I think for some people, that's going to be an absolute godsend, because there is nothing else. There may be them, a pet, and some AI assistant to absolutely help them. On the slightly wider point, I think that from a live streaming point of view, at some point in the not too distant future, it will be capable. There's the capability, like you go back to Synthesia and others that can do it now. They haven't quite got it yet, but being able to produce that max headroom, and I said that before, that's no difference, just a more updated model than Max was that we all loved. And that's why I was saying this before, I still find Max Headroom futuristic when I watched it today. Maybe because that's from the era it's from, but I don't think it's ever going to change. What it could help, though, is this thing where you're alone, you're a solopreneur, or you're a host, producer, director. It can do the producing in the direction for you. That's what I'd like live stream companies. OneStream Live, I think, will be the lead probably on this at the Pine moving forward, where you can preset a whole pile of stuff and it will produce and direct the simple things like, at this time, but it'll be able to, if you slip on the conversation, You know, instead of it being 14 minutes, 34 seconds or whatever, video slide comes in, you know, segment divider comes in, it will know when. It'll be able to interpret what's going on. And I think that, again, is the sort of thing that OneStream Live are very good at looking at and would probably be the lead. And that would help people like me at times, all of us really, I suppose, at live streamers, to just simplify and allow us to then focus on the interviewing that you're doing while all the other stuff has been done in the background.
I absolutely love that. And that's a great idea. What if we were actually able to make transitions and changes off voice commands with OneStream Live? Wouldn't that be cool?
Spot on.
Yeah.
Matt, tell me what you think, sir. Will people be able to make it? We're in this fight, humans versus AI. Who comes out a winner?
Well, there's a lot to unpack with everything that you guys have all been talking about, and I think all of it's really, really good points. Everybody's made some super valid points, in my opinion. My belief is this: I think that AI itself is intended to be an efficiency multiplier, essentially, as it stands. It is not intended to replace any one person doing any one specific task. It is there to make those who are completing these tasks that much better and more efficient at doing that. Right. That said, do I think that there are places and in certain industries where things like AI, when it becomes better and more well-rounded and deeper in terms of its breadth of knowledge, do I think it could? Yes, I think there are certain instances where it could absolutely replace the job of what a human can do. Now, the caveat to that is, and you guys brought us up with the cell phone, DJ Strick, which is a big thing. We as human beings have to be very cognizant to not become overly dependent upon the AI that we use in our lives, right? Siri, Google Assistant, Alexa, whatever. They're great. Oh, my Siri came up. She's about to yell at me. They're great in terms of what they do. And they're very, very helpful in what they can provide. But I think they've already shown, especially with the younger generation, they are heavily reliant on AI to give them information. Okay, so when they're seeking out information, instead of, listen, our kids, my kids are the first generation to probably have never seen what an actual encyclopedia looks like, because I'm pretty sure that they don't print them anymore, and if they do, they're very rare and ungodly expensive. So they don't understand what it's actually like to have to physically go to the bookshelf, pick up a book, search the index to find the title and the name that you're looking for. All they do is they go in and say, "Hey, phone assistant, what is this?" And it'll spit it back auditorily for them, which creates more problems than it helps, because they don't even understand the spelling, or in many cases they don't understand the proper spelling of the term. They just know how to say it. They don't understand different connotations in which that term could be used. There's a lot of different things when it comes to the education of our youth that I think are at risk based on the heavy use of AI that's going on today. That said, I do still think overall it is a huge benefit to society, because I do think in the end it is intended to be an efficiency and a knowledge multiplier, not something to replace what we do on a day-to-day basis.
I was wondering that same thing too, Matt. I'm an X. My son is an alpha. He believes everything the machine tells him.
Yeah.
I am worried about that.
and that's the thing. The problem is you don't, first of all, we already have seen, you've seen it yourself, Erica, and I'm sure anybody who's used ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or any of the other ones, you put a question in and you get something out that just doesn't quite make sense. Those of us that have been around the block a little while understand that doesn't compute for me. Let me do some more research in a different way. Kids don't necessarily know how to decipher that stuff because they're used to having technology be the be-all, end-all of the information source that they're used to using.
Right. It was on the internet. So if you asked a question and they're searching the internet with is Bigfoot real, it's going to figure out this bunch of articles about finding Bigfoot.
Right. Exactly. And so, it can only, an information source is only as good as the information that it's fed.
Put in. Yeah.
Right. So if it's garbage in, garbage out, and that's, so the reality is there's two sides to this coin, and we have to be very cognizant of both the upsides and downsides of both sides of this coin, and be very diligent as a society not to allow the negatives to overshadow the positives. And some of that is on a broad scale. Places like OpenAI and Google, they need to put those hard left and right into those AI systems so that they can't go beyond what acceptable capabilities for an artificial intelligence or basically a supercomputer can do.
I like that.
That's my personal opinion. So
I think that, guys, I really think that AI is going to win out. I think it's going to get better. I think as people start to use it and it gets more information and they refine it, there is a real AI revolution going on with companies. So Facebook, Meta has just come out with Luna, and it's probably one of the better ones right now. There's a system called Claude that is has a new sonnet Claude Sonnet that's connected to it that has given ChatGPT-4 a run for its money. ChatGPT-4 has now ChatGPT 4.0, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini. You can actually download these things as apps on your phone and use it as a personal assistant on you. There's so many applications for this if the right person uses it. And I'll say it from my standpoint. I think that using AI the way I use it allows me to be superhuman. I'm just being honest with you.
Totally understand. Agree with you.
So what happens is, I see your hand, Joe, I'm coming to you. So what it allows me to do is some of the normal tasks, research, and general stuff. Guys, I'm not building charts and graphs and all that. I'm a content creator that need content ideas. Boom, it's giving me great stuff. All right, if I ask for 10 and it gives me 8 great ideas, I'm not mad about the 2 that I didn't like. I'm like, man, 8 great ideas, let's keep going. And tons of things. I give it a paragraph, can you rewrite this in this tone? And it rewrites it in that tone. Guess what? I know the information because I gave it the information that I needed. It added a couple more words for it, made it a little bit more beefy. Boom, I'm able to use it. So these are very minimal uses of AI. That's how I use it, but it allows me to do some things that I may not be thinking about. YouTube descriptions. Well, if you put in, hey, this is the title and this is the idea of this show, it's going to take that title and put those words, key words in there that I may forget to continue to take my title and put the key words of my title in my description. Guess what? AI is going to get that right because it's built to know to do that. Now, Joe, you had your hand up. I want to get to you.
You did, and the points you just brought up have made me forget now because I'm 60 and old. So I'm then thinking to me, okay, I watched the show with Stephen Healy, great one stream live show the other day on Recall, and so I'm quickly thinking, oh Jesus, that's strict. Don't ask me a question now because I've forgotten. I can only just remember. I need to look at my name now to remember who I am. No, it was the point of. When we talk about being realistic, don't we, all the time on content creation? And I think one of those things is teaching whatever AI knowledge tool that you're using, being authentic, being you all the time. So whatever you're writing, whatever you're doing, it gets to learn you. So I had a blog article, one that generated some blog articles based on ideas or rewrote something I did. I then took that and then had to rewrite it as BJS so that it was in this. And that's important to me. But what it did over time, actually, it's just disappeared. Unfortunately, it was a brilliant piece of kit called Predraft AI. And it's just disappeared in the last week. It's just, they've gone. Nobody knows where they are. They've gone. So what I invested Yeah, it's just gone. But what it did was this: it could either generate the article for you as Predraft AI, or it could generate you as Livestream Solutions. And you can pre-program that. It will go into your website. It will look at things that you're previously writing. So when you, and it gets to know you. And I think that's a clever idea for me, for a time-saving measure that keeps the authenticity. And I think an awful lot of people, I think Matt brought this up the last time a few months ago. People are just blindly using AI as is. They're not using it in an authentic method. And you can see straight through that. So it takes me an awful lot of time to put some things together. But I tell you what, going back to what you said just then, Strick, there'll be sometimes I'm doing a social media post, I'm thinking, that header doesn't that header, that title, it just doesn't hit the spot. So I'll go into Voila or anything else and I'll say, give me 3 options for what, actually, Matt, I do that very clear and concise. This is what it's for. This is what it is. Or use the paragraph I'm using. Give me 3 options for a better header that's more engaging, more standout. And that's a great, simple, quick thing to think, do you know what? That's what I was thinking of. But I just didn't have it in here because you're thinking about the whole bit, and it can give you that and save time. Brilliant.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I know of people that are building apps using AI now.
Yeah.
It's just like with code, you don't have to even know the code. And I know there's, some other software out there where you could build apps without code, but what if you could do that with Claude? It will take some time figuring it out, but there are ways to draw something, put it in the computer, and then Dali or one of these other Mid-Journeys, these other things are now taking a drawing and making it into a picture that you can use, several different options. There's so many things that we can get out of AI that I think that it behooves each and every person that wants to go further in technology outside of content creation. So inside of content creation, hands down, you need to be on it. I believe adopting a system and not fighting AI is going to be where we all are far ahead of people that are not using AI. There are millions and millions of people not using AI at all. And us to have our hands in it, to at least know that there are several companies that are working on it, it puts us ahead. Man, what do you got to say?
Well, the other thing too is I know we were talking about some of the apps before. You guys were mentioning having somebody that could be not only a source of information, but also a friend that could give you information. There's an app already out called Pi.ai, and
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, and it's one that you can use. If you're feeling sad or down or whatever, you can talk to it, and it ends up almost being like not a therapist, but just like a shoulder to, a sounding board, and it'll kick stuff back at you, and it'll be that friend to you from an AI standpoint. From a content creation standpoint, there's a whole bunch of apps. Obviously, productivity, there's a whole bunch of apps. So the thing is it's almost like a choice overload right now. I think is part of at least what I see going on. There are so many things, as easy as it is to create those apps now, just like you were talking about, no code, being able to essentially put Claude Sonnet or, obviously the OpenAI Chat GPT stuff, or Google Gemini by using their API, which is super simple to program in. It's literally a few clicks of a button. You copy this thing that they already pops up ready to copy, and you just paste it somewhere else, and boom, now you've got access in your own web app to use, Google Gemini and all these other things. So it's becoming almost like overwhelming, the amount of choices that we have to go on. And, and so now it's kind of a matter of parsing down, okay, now which ones actually meet my needs for this specific thing. So in my content creation, what do I need the most? Do I need something that writes blog articles for me? Do I need something that helps me come up with YouTube scripts? Do I need something that helps me develop really good interview questions for my next podcast? What is it that you're looking for? There is a tool out there for you, but there is a right tool that does the job really well, and there are other tools that do the job okay. And the key is to find the job that does, or to find the tool that does the job really well
for you. Yeah.
And I also think that what's going to do really well is, I say this all the time. Somebody asked me a question, they were having an error with something, and I have this one joke that I've been using for years. I say, well, it's probably operator error. Only people that deal with computers know who the operator is. The people are the operator. There's nothing wrong with the software. It's the people. So I think the people that are going to win are the ones that know how to prompt these systems well. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me not say do not. Be very cautious of scammers helping you with promptings. Okay? Erica, help me out with this. Matt, Joe, you guys come back behind me on this. If you want to know how to use AI, you give it a problem that you want to have, a problem that you have, or a task that you want it to use, and then ask it questions. In order to do this, and there are other things, tips that you could have. Could you ask me 5 questions that you need to know that help me to give you information to answer this question? That is one way to be a good prompter, by asking the system information that it needs from you to be able to answer that question the right way. Do you guys have others that you would recommend as a great way to prompt the system?
Well, the one you just talked about is, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I don't, because it has messed with me so much. I have stopped believing. Even though I say we're best friends, I only give it the information that I have. So unless it's doing with the transcript that I've gave it and ask it to make it into a blog post, email, newsletter, I'm not doing anything else with it. But I am happy that I'm learning something new from you all today.
Oh, Erica, I'm going to break that, because I know that you're an early adopter. And if you are using ChatGPT and all this other stuff, the newer ones are definitely working much better. And I would always say this. Now, I'm telling you that, but I only use information that I know is correct. Okay, so ChatGPT, they may be rewriting something for me, just like what you're saying, but there are sometimes that it has given me an idea that I didn't have, that I'm like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that. It's those things that kind of help me. It's not that I don't know the answer. It just had thought of something I wasn't being thoughtful of. Or, hey, I want you to write this script in this model, problem, agitation, solution. And it's just writing out scripts with that model that it automatically knows, because somebody has already put that prompt into the system. So it's giving me the script, but hey, do you have a problem with ABCD that you're trying to get solved? Is it really affecting the way that you do your work? Well, the answer to that question is ABCD. And boom, I could do multiples of those, that it would take me time to think of. The system could do multiples of those. Can you give me 5 scripts done in this format? Yeah. And it's not that it's right or wrong. It's just giving you options.
And also remembering that a prompt can go, the very last thing that people remember is probably the last thing we say as humans to each other. So why don't we do that on the prompt? At the end of when I put in, based on the following content that I need this producing, blah, 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 blah. Please add in anything else based on the scenario and task I have given you that would help me in this. That tends to generate a whole pile more ideas for me. And I almost religiously add something like that, akin to that at the very, very end, because I've now got used to AI throwing up ideas that I hadn't thought about. And that's a great wee little prompt at the end, something along those words,
I like that idea. It's a great ending. And what I do is I'll add that or something similar to that after I've gotten all of the prompts and the response done. But what I do is I write very long prompts, number one, because I want to be very specific in what I'm asking it to do. But most of my prompts go back to what Strick was talking about with role-based prompting. And what you want to do is you want to start off and say, like, I want you to act as a YouTube video marketing expert, and I want you to give me 15 video ideas on this specific topic that I can discuss with my audience. I want the tone to be somewhat similar to Gary Vaynerchuk and or a mix of Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone, something that's really informative but super high energy, and give me 15 video marketing ideas for this. As a video marketing expert for YouTube, I need you to ask me any questions about my role or my industry or my business that you need to make these video ideas very specific and really engaging for my audience. And then ask you questions. And then you start answering those questions based on what it's asking you. And at some point you say, I think there's that, you can either tell it to keep asking you until it feels like it has enough information, or you can tell it after a certain amount of questions, I feel like you have enough information to give me those ideas. What do you have for me? And then it'll spit out ideas. And then you can say, okay, these look good. Give me 15 more. Or these are not what I'm looking for. Can we try again? Or let's try again. And it'll refine it, or it'll ask you more questions as far as what, refining the information, whatever, and then go from there. So
hope you
Hey, listen,
clip this, because that was great.
I agree 100%. All of that was really good. Like, so if you're watching this in a replay, just rewind. Rewind, listen to what Matt said all over again, because he's basically giving you the blueprint as far as it is if you're doing some stuff for content creations and need ideas for a report or something, or a script that you're trying to write. There's tons of things that AI is doing right now that may be outside of content creations that you can actually do. We're all content creators and using AI to help us to be able to put together titles, descriptions, information that's going to best serve our audiences. And I personally think, I've said this already, it makes you superhuman. If you're able to use it, I say try your best to get onto it. And if you have stumbling blocks or trying to figure it out, try to find a system that works best for you. Because some people like ChatGPT, some people like Gemini, some people like Claude, and there's so many. Perplexity is done differently, but it's giving you information based off of that open AI source that you may like better than anything else. There's tons of things out there. What I want people to do, Matt, Joe, and Erica, is not get left behind.
No.
Don't think that, that is taking over the world. Like, get involved, figure out how you could be superhuman with this technology. And I have tons of people asking me questions. I was at a graduation for my son. We did a party for him. And one of my wife's cousins knows I do content creation, and said, hey, I was thinking about getting into doing voiceover work. Now, all of us would think automatically, voiceover work is dead. AI is doing it all now. There's several companies, but there's still people that need real voices and real people reading. Okay. I think the technology hadn't gotten there that it doesn't seem robotic. There's still holes in the AI generated voices. That being said, great, I could do that. I took on a project that I'm getting nothing for. I'm just helping out a cousin, right? All I did was prompt ChatGPT the same way Matt did. I didn't ask it the follow-up questions about asking me a whole bunch of questions I should have. And I'm starting to do that more and more. Ask me more questions. Is there anything else, like Joe says, is there anything else that I need to know that I haven't asked? Or are there any more information about this that I haven't mentioned or you haven't given me yet, to allow it to give me new information that I could use in different ways? That being said, I was able to do like a nice little one pager for her, send it to her, and they think I'm the best cousin in the whole wide world. And it took me all of 15 minutes to do, which in the past, I mean, come on, you got to think through all that stuff, and you got to format it in a way with the email that they would get it, and all this other kind of stuff I did not have to do.
Yeah.
So put it out, and I was able to put it in a quick little email. Guess what? I get the Best Cousin of the Year award because I was able to answer a question.
So out of curiosity, out of the three of you, and the audience that's watching, you can go ahead and throw a one or a thumbs up in the chat. Like, would it help to have like a basic prompting starter script for different genres or different modes of operation, things that you're trying to do. Like if we were able to come up with some sort of cheat sheet to give you guys to get you at least started on prompting the right way in using some of these different LLMs like ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Perplexity AI, would that be something that's helpful to you guys?
I think so.
Matt,
Yeah.
Yes.
Matt, the things that you have talked about today, all of you, I mean, I want the list of all the links that you guys have talked about. The prompts you were talking about. I want to know how to use HR like Joe was talking about. There's so much stuff just in this one video. I mean, you could break it up and sell it in pieces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want that too.
And that's really one of the best things about having our panel come together is we all have so many different ways that we use these tools or could use these tools or even just envision these tools being used based on our own life experiences. So it's awesome for all of us to come together and actually have this big melting pot of just ideas. I love it. So
I agree 100%, and I'm there with you. I think there are companies that already have went down that route of having prompts available. But yeah, it would be helpful, especially for some people who have never used any kind of AI for help. So that's out of the chat right there. Sorry that it's covering half the photos here, but you guys get it. So yeah, it's definitely people could use.
Okay.
Now, I've heard that people are making their own GPT-4s or own GPTs and formatting it for stuff like content creation. So maybe if you did that, you could probably be very profitable with that. All of you.
Yeah.
So what happens with ChatGPT-4, and I'm hoping I'm getting all that right, Senator, right, is actually built off a platform called OpenAI, which is a open source large language model to where anybody that understands development or developer or how to be a developer and stuff could use that open source to be able to get the information out. So it's definitely out there where people are doing it. And a lot of people are saying, I got this application, I'm using this application, but in the background, you have no idea. It's just running ChatGPT, and it's doing exactly what you said. It may be niched down for creators or for this group or for that group, and you found this great program that's using AI, but it's just in the background using OpenAI, which has been around for a while. They just decided to make money instead of just being an open source. Let's just do this ourselves and open it up to people, and that's where the revolution started. Was that 2023 or end of 22?
I think it was end of 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
When ChatGPT first launched, I think it was like end of 22. But yeah, I mean, it's, this isn't something that this is just what I'm kind of thinking of as far as like a cheat sheet or some kind of helper sheet. Because I know there's companies out there that do this stuff, and they'll charge a subscription fee. You can go on and you can look at all their prompts. No, this is just something that, some prompts that I've used in the past that are real lengthy role-based prompts that you can plug in you'll get the starter text, and you can cut out names for, whatever influencer you don't want to use, and plug in the names of the influencers you want to use in terms of getting their voice and their delivery style and all that kind of stuff. And then you can have it give out, whatever you're asking for, whether it's, right now, video title description helpers, or whether it's script outline development, or whether it's blog posts or Instagram posts or whatever the case may be. There's multiple different ways that you can use these things, and it'll give you these ideas. And a lot of times you can even get it with emojis, and you can literally just cut and paste. You can cut it and paste it into your text base, throw a photo in, and you're good to go. So wow. I'm not saying,
what do you think about what's here as far as what Seth is saying?
I do that. I love that.
Oh yeah, the video title and description helper. Oh, that's great. Well, here's the key with that though, and this is where it kind of comes down to like chicken or the egg thing with that. By the time you get done recording a video, even if you have an outline, even if you have a script, most of us ad lib, right? When we're doing our videos.
I do 100%.
Right. So no matter how you start, as far as the intent, by the end of it, you're gonna got to go back and reanalyze the video to see exactly what was covered so that you can accurately describe based on the title and the description of the video. So that's a whole nother thing all in and of itself, which is good and bad. You mentioned something last week, DJ Strick, that you used to do those things for your videos. What is it? Opus Clip?
Yep.
Does it have a way to analyze using AI, analyze the footage and the actual script that's coming out of it to give you more information to develop a new or updated title and description based off of what it's actually pulling out of the AI?
No, it's just really giving you, so its tool that it uses for AI, it gives you what they call a virality score.
Okay.
And it tells you why it came up with that score inside of your video. So it tells you, hey, based on this video, you answered the questions concisely, you did well with this, or you did well with that. It should resonate with your audience. That's what it does.
Okay, because I use one called Cast Magic, and I can plug in my podcast or I can plug in my YouTube video link, and it'll pull out. It'll give me like the in a script format. It'll give me the whole script, and then there's additional prompts you can program in, like give me the 10 most important moments in this entire video, and then I can bookmark those for like important sections or when the subject changes. It'll also give me new recommendations for titles, descriptions, things of that sort. So there are already tools out there that will do that are they're, they cost money. They're not free. It's not something that I can give you in terms of something simple to build, but there are tools that do some of that stuff for you, and they are very good.
Gotcha.
I might have something for you. So Glass is a free Chrome extension. You attach it to your YouTube channel.
There you go.
You can set it up with either Chat, Gemini, or Claude. I think they'll have more coming. But you put in what you want it to ask Chat. Let's say you're using Chat. I usually ask it for a YouTube description, an SEO-rich YouTube description. And maybe a new title. So even though I have my original description in my YouTube video, I'll make a little dotted line and then I'll add that in also, just in case Google's watching for SEO.
Sure.
I like it. So
Glass.
Yep. GLASP. Glass.
Glass. Got it.
I tell you what Opus Clips is very, very good for as well. It tells you where you could have been better. So it gives you a virality score, as DJ says, out of 100. It tells you what the hook, the link is, and all of that. You can go in and edit, and it will clip what you've said. So you can take out the ums and ahs, and all that's very, very, very good as well. And you can download that and repurpose it. It's changing all the time. It's really good. But what it does do for me is when I'm putting my show running order together, if I've got a specific question, I'll do a piece ahead. So I'll go single in on Matt Volkmann for that 2 minutes while he's answering that, because I know that piece is going to get pulled up and I'm going to repurpose that straight away. So it's already, again, AI on Opus Clips is making me think, is the next show I do, I need to structure that a little bit better. So it's a teaching as well. So I think it's one of the best out there for me as well.
Nice.
That's awesome. And I also have heard of people recommending using Opus clips on some of your niche leaders and figure out why people are watching what they're doing. So taking their video, putting it in Opus Clips, and seeing how Opus describes what they're doing and how they're gaining attention through their video. So you could use it as a research tool in your niche to figure out how other leaders in your niche are, gaining more audience. Of course, if it's YouTube, of course, they've been there for a while talking about it. They get the recommendations ahead of you, but maybe they have some things inside of their script that they're using that's resonating with the audience a little better as well. And you can figure out some of those things. Before we end up today, I have to tell you this. I've been talking about OneStream Live's ability to do 24/7 YouTube live streams. And Erica, I don't know if you've been around long enough to know how often I've talked about it. I've probably talked about it for longer than a year, maybe two.
Are you gonna do
And
it?
no, it's done.
Oh,
I finally did it.
oh,
I
nice.
finally did it. And it took me all the 30 minutes, let's say 45, downloading the videos to go in.
Oh my
So, you know, my wife is a jazz flutist, and she has all of these live performances and CD releases that we've done, and we had the footage of, and it's on her YouTube channel, but it's a little long for people to watch. So basically, we took all of those things, put them in individually, made a playlist inside of OneStream Live, looped the playlist. So the playlist actually turned out to be 3 hours worth of content. I looped it twice. It asked me if I could do it 3 times, and I tried to do it 3 times, but of course, there's an 8-hour stream limit.
Right.
So I had to go back to 6 hours, and then I was able to schedule that stream or continue to stream or consecutive streams, and then do 50 of those. So it's actually live up until August the 11th with a 1 minute gap in between the live streams.
Brilliant, mate.
Nice.
So every 6 hours, there's a 1 minute break, and then it streams up again. And she's already got a couple more subscribers.
That's awesome.
Her watch time is up. It hasn't went viral yet. Okay, it hasn't went viral yet. I'm not saying we're ending the world, but the work has been done, and we're not advertising it right now.
Oh, that's
okay. So not advertising. So yeah, so what I tell people with YouTube, you really want YouTube to recommend it, because it's going to recommend it to people that are looking for the tags we got. So smooth jazz, live smooth jazz, or flute experience, or people that are looking for Kim Scott. Basically, they got Kim Scott for however long they want to watch her, they can watch it.
How about this one? Study music. It is
could do that too.
Study music is especially for like high school and college students. If it's real relaxing, just almost like in that, it could be in the background kind of music, like lo-fi stuff like that. There are so many people that will search that just to throw it on and play it for hours while they study as background.
That's true. Now that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to do one of those chill-fi or chill-hop channels, and basically right now I was going to just go through and use AI to build me some songs. You know what? We could do things right now. I have to go to a studio.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to a studio. I could just have what's that, Udio or Sana do it, and basically it takes time. It's not automatic, and a lot of the stuff is not like the best music in the world right now, but there are opportunities for you to do some of the things that you want to do. Using AI, I said it already, makes you superhuman. Okay, there's a way for you to be superhuman, and don't waste the time on saying I want to do it. I wasted a whole year trying to do it and figured out that you could do it. How do you get music to not be flagged by copyrights? You only use music that you have license to play. So that's for Pastor Dre there, the gospel Sonic. Now there are other people that are play there. You can play music and not get flagged. It'll be like wouldn't be able to monetize it. Okay. So basically, if it's played, the artist that's being registered to, they would actually get to pay for that. Okay. So those are things you want to be thinking of. That's where AI music comes in, that is copyright free at that point. Now, I don't think that you will get a whole lot of money off of it, and you can't like send it to the copyright people to get copywritten and release it to radio, because it's AI generated music, and they actually own it right now. The companies own the music.
I think they're doing something about law saying that humans and AI can work together, so you can copyright it. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's gone through yet, but I know that they're talking about it.
So there's always ways to get around it. It's no different than what we talked about earlier with taking AI generated articles and rewriting it. If you're smart enough to, what they're starting to do is to give what you call stems. So they actually take each individual instrument out so you can then put it into another system like Pro Tools or Logic, and then you can manipulate that, and potentially that could be used because you are manipulating it in one of those other systems, which makes it yours.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's, there's some people that would sit around and do it. I don't have that kind of time. I just don't. But it's possible. It's possible. And guess what? If you want to know it, more details about that, search it in YouTube, because there's already videos on how to do it. I've seen them. Like, there's videos out there for everything. There's videos on how you could use AI to generate or to help you. Like, what's better, AI or humans? That's what we talked about today. There's a video on that inside of OneStream Live's YouTube channel with DJ Strick, Erica Bates, Joe Shep, and Matt Volkmann. I got it all together, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. This has been, one of the reasons why I built the panel and to have an opportunity was to be able to have voices like yours to be heard and to hang out with other people that use OneStream Live. So this is really cool, man. Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Always a good time.
Yes, I feel the same way. It's always a good time to hang out with you guys. Next fourth Monday, whatever the date may be, Joe, we're going to do this all over again. I could be wrong on the dates, but look at the fourth Monday and we're going to be hanging out again.
Very much look forward to it. We've missed this. It's been great, Cracklands.
It's been really good. It's been really good. So I know it's late on your end, Joe. So thank you for hanging out with us. And guys, I'll see you next Monday night, 7 p.m. We're talking about SEO stuff next time. I'm going to have to use ChatGPT to help me out with this one. All right, guys. See you next Monday night.
Take care, all.